Welcome back to another episode of Desire to Inspire, your mama's favorite podcast. I gotta say, I'm enjoying being in the same vicinity as you to film these, man.
Yeah, it's a lot better, bro.
It is.
Because, especially today, we had a car ride over here, so it's we got to, kind of preface what we're going to talk about.
Yep.
Not that we couldn't do that sitting here.
No, and even before the calls, but there's just something about it, man. I get to be in the same room as my boy, feel his energy, see his energy. He doesn't have a caffeine drink today, so hopefully he stays awake during this podcast.
I did have caffeine this morning, though.
Well, that's good. But we have something else that I think will help us keep our minds occupied and make you think that you have an energy drink in your hand.
I think it's going to make me feel like I have something else in my hand, dude. But that's cool. Let's do it.
Let's hear about it, Dylan.
This feels like my old podcast now. I hear cracking. I feel like we've talked about them on here. Cheers.
Cheers, man. We have, but now that we're in person...
Yeah, it's going to be a sponsor-heavy episode. So This is Athletic Brewing Company. This is sponsor of the show, non-alcoholic beer. Where did I have this for the first time? I think I actually just tried it during the DTI 50.
Yeah,
you did. We just happened to... Yeah, we were out to dinner and they just had it. And I was like, oh, I've heard of this, but I've never had it. Let me try it. And it tastes like beer. These ones are IPAs.
Yep.
But they have light beer. They have Mexican beer. They have a fuck ton. On their website, they have so much more than what they have in stores.
Yep.
We're ambassadors. And
ambassadors.
There's a link below pretty much anywhere you're listening to this that will save you 15%, 20%. Honestly, I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I think it's 15%.
There's a code down there as well. I believe it's Dylan.
Check it out, though. You get the great taste without the punch the next morning.
And it's lower calorie too.
Yeah.
I think these are 40 some.
Yep.
I just like it for when I'm really trying to. Honestly, I need to focus on these during this marathon training.
Yeah. This is an IPA. This is the one that we've had. And I had, I'm going to bring this up actually afterwards. So I had another flavor that I will mention in a second, but I got to call Dylan out on it. So I'm going to finish. This is their IPA. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but recently I have just been loving the taste of IPAs, but I don't want the alcohol. It's kind of like coffee. I like the flavor of coffee, but I don't really. Yeah, I don't really need the caffeine.
Decaf tastes different though, and I also know exactly where you're going to go after this. I know where you're going to go.
So, anyways, to finish up my point is that during the week, I grill out a lot, or we'll go down to our pool and we'll grill out, and I just want a beer in my hand, but I don't actually want the alcohol part of it. So this Athletic Brewing beer, the flavors are almost on point to what an actual flavor tastes like. So I was really mind blown about that, and
it's kind of
actually pretty much always have it in the fridge just to have one here and there throughout the week. Justin came over not too long ago. I was like, hey, you want one of these? He's like, Jesus, you're drinking again? And I was like, no, there's no alcohol in it. I was like, I just like the flavor of it, and it doesn't get me drunk. So that's what I like even more.
Did he have one?
He did not, no.
Not surprised.
It's because it was an IPA. I don't think he's a big IPA guy.
He's definitely not. He's Coors Light or bust.
Yeah. And so it's cool to find this alternative because, truthfully, and I think we're going to get into it here soon, just overall around the concept of drinking, what it entails, what people associate it with, all of these things, and mainly
coming off a weekend where I don't know if I'm gonna have to talk about this.
That's fine. It can just be my segment. But stemming off of it and focusing on this great product is they had these after the Spartan race.
This is where I
expected
this to go.
So after the race, I was the one that was driving. We were an hour away, 2 hours away.
Yeah,
2 hours away.
Almost
so I was
30.
I'm not. Yeah. Wow, that was further than I thought. In Fayetteville, North Carolina, which I also saw a study that Fayetteville is not the greatest place to live, and there's actually kind of a lot of crime there, so that was pretty cool.
I mean, I could have just assumed by looking around that it wasn't the best place to live.
So I got their Pilsner, so their light beer, comparable to good old Bud Light, Mickey Ultra, Mickey Slim, and it was delicious. And you guys would have saw that I had that. But for some reason, there's not a Spartan race video.
That's not where I expect you to go. I expect you to say that one wasn't that good because I thought you were pointing to the one next to it, and I said, yeah, that's what I was going to say to get.
For some reason.
But you got the one. We've talked about
there's
this.
Not a Spartan race
We've had this conversation off air. My laptop's a piece of shit.
Yep.
It won't take that many video files at one time. It gets them all in there. I begin editing, and my computer just crashes.
Yep. Nope.
So if you guys buy enough of these, I can get a new laptop.
Luckily, we have mine, and once Dylan's stuff gets here, we'll be able to filter through that. I don't know what we'll release, but we'll release something.
Yeah,
because
like we
work
put out
hard for
small
it.
videos.
Yeah. But no, that was just
and I got to use it as proof on the podcast.
Yep. But there was just a moment of opportunity to give a little bit of shit, and it just feels so good.
Yeah, well.
I saw a post the other day, and it was like, guys are drastically different from girls. When you get a group of guys that are friends with each other, or a group of guys around each other, and they're giving each other shit, they could literally look at one another and be like, God, you're ugly as fuck. God, you're bald. God, you're bald.
Every time I walk into the kitchen, Justin says, "What up, ugly?"
He says that to me all the time, too. I think he's just jealous of us, bro.
Well, he's never going to listen to this, so we don't have anything to worry about.
And they said, they were like, so that is how you know that a guy fucks with another guy, is they give him endearing comments by talking shit.
Endearing comments.
Yep. And they said, but if a girl goes up to another girl and is like, God, that dress is ugly. God, your hair looks crazy. God, you're getting kind of fat. The girls will take it to heart, and they will never talk to one another again, and it'll kill a friendship.
Yeah, and also, I mean, like, we could really dive into male versus female here, but, like, a guy could get in an actual fist fight and be fine, like, 5 minutes later, where a girl hears that, and she'll never speak to her again.
Yep. Have you ever been in a fist fight?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
I mean, my, like, legit fist fight or, like, with a friend fist fight?
A legit one.
I was in 8th grade.
Banging on the streets.
I was in the streets. I was in the hallway in middle school. I
Over a girl?
suspended my... Technically. But it wasn't my girl. It was his girl, and he wasn't having it. Yeah.
So you deserve to get your ass beat.
I didn't get my ass beat.
Okay.
But I also didn't deserve it. I mean, she approached me. I didn't do anything with her. We were just texting.
Okay.
And I dated her a couple months later. But that was after they broke up.
So you were sexting.
No. Not at like 13.
If you got in
I don't even think that I was texting at 13.
Did I have a phone? Yeah, I had a phone. That was
Dude,
freshman year of high school.
Yeah, I didn't get mine until I was like... I had a fucking Go phone in 8th grade that only had like my parents' numbers in it. I couldn't text or anything.
What was your first phone? Oh, the Go phone?
Yeah. And then like my first real phone was like a Razor.
Damn,
But-
bro. I thought I was balling.
But even then, I had 50 texts a month my freshman year.
Damn.
You know how fast you send 50 texts?
And isn't that crazy that they literally got away with that?
And every text after it was a quarter.
A quarter? Holy shit.
You know how fast that adds up? I used to have to like block people from texting me or I would get in trouble.
Tommy T would lay the hammer down like,
Oh,
boy,
dude.
if you don't stop fucking going over your limit.
I had to wait till after 9 o'clock to get on the phone because it was free minutes.
Dude, that's so crazy. Now that you think about that, I haven't thought about that in so long because,
Yeah.
excuse me, everything is like
Back in my day.
unlimited minutes, unlimited texting, unlimited data. But like even back in the day, you used to have to pay for the data. And you're right, like the minutes of calling. Holy shit.
Yeah. You would get like family plans. Like I could call my parents as much as I needed to. I could call like certain people as much as I needed to.
Yep.
You used to like pick a circle of people. Like you'd have
Yeah.
like 5 numbers that didn't count.
Wow, that's wild. That's why all this shit is fake, bro. They can just change it on demand and be like, oh, we're improving our services and offering unlimited text messaging. It's like, what the fuck changed?
I mean,
What
I'm
the fuck
sure
changed?
like speeds and accessibility of like towers changed.
Yep. As it went up in G's.
But I mean, I still think like people had unlimited back then too.
So going back to your fight, if you got into a fight and lost, would Tommy T be the dad that was like disappointed in his son for losing a fight? I feel like Jacob got in a lot of fights. Did he?
No.
No? The tattoos are just a illusion of a hard ass.
Yeah, he's definitely not a fighter, bro. And he's watching this, but like I'm sure he got in fights, but like the most he probably fought was me.
He definitely won that fight.
Like, dude, he almost like clean took my head off this one time. We were playing football in Matt Cox's front yard. And I think I like pushed him or something. He fell. And like, dude, if he would have connected this punch, he swung so hard that he missed, like over my head missed. But if he would have connected, bro, I think I would have been knocked out.
Damn.
He put his all into this punch.
He wanted that punch.
Yeah. But we never like actually like full on like, because after that it was like, fuck you. he wanted to take the car. So I called my mom, and she said, just let him fucking have the car. So he left me there all by myself.
Did you get treated like a sister in the family?
No.
I
don't even know what that means.
I kind of feel like Jacob is a little more manly compared to you, so I feel
You've
like
never met my brother, dude. He's more like hands-on, like does things. But describe manly.
Yeah, like gets his hands dirty, doesn't put up with shit. Kind of has like your dad's persona, where it's like.
You think my dad's manly?
Well, let me explain a little bit.
Yeah, please do.
So like, when I didn't know Tommy T, or I didn't know Tommy T to the extent I do now, he kind of comes across as intimidating. Like you see him from afar, and it's like,
it's
okay,
a facade.
He's a big guy, tall, tatted.
He's also a big puss.
Well, I know that now. So now I'm not scared of Tommy T. But for you, those of you that don't know, when I first went over Dylan's house, Tommy T was not as welcoming as I think he would be now if I was over. And he was pissed that I was there.
He was pissed that everyone was there. I didn't know what was going on.
He was even mad you were there.
I was just making food.
And so we were over there, and he came home from work heated to the point where his mom's like, Dylan, just stay over here. He's in a mood today. And we sat around the table talking to your mom while he sat in his chair.
We literally worked out, and I was making us lunch that I'm pretty sure I purchased.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We didn't eat
any
of his food.
I mean, but even if I did, is that big of a deal?
You know, that was the first and only time I've ever been at your house.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. Never knew that.
So that first interaction I had with Tommy T is how I feel like Jacob would be. And like when I met your mom, that's the vibe I get of you.
My mom was awesome. My mom is like more of a guy than my dad, I feel like.
Really? I've only met her once.
In terms of like personality. My dad's like gets his hands dirty and like works on things.
Yeah. Man.
But like emotion wise, my mom's the guy.
Huh.
And I think that they would both admit that.
So I have this all wrong.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like that. Yeah. I don't think like either one of me, our brother, was looked at as a sister of the family.
Like I feel like
but like also
if you guys were playing house at like a cousin's house, you would be the one that gets in the dress, not Jacob.
There's actually photos of both of us in dresses. But no, I think if you met him, you'd be like, oh, they're actually kind of the same. Just Dylan doesn't do any of this manual labor.
Okay. Yep. He didn't even believe that Matthew could change his brakes.
It's not that I didn't believe it. I just wanted to make sure before I said, fuck it, I'll order the parts.
Yeah. Understandable.
Like, that's kind of a big deal for something to change in my car. Like, if he can't do it, I'm going to die.
That's what YouTube's for.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's good stuff. Maybe one day I'll meet Jacob, but maybe one day I won't.
I mean, he's probably going to come out here eventually.
He should come with your dad for my birthday.
That's a little short notice.
Okay. Anyways.
He got a family, bro.
That is true. Man, that would be a wild, wild, wild ride.
Yeah, but he's already talked about coming out for like
cool.
a brother's trip.
Cool. Speaking of coming out.
Okay, go ahead. Where's the next topic going with that?
You got something to tell us?
No.
No? All right. Maybe next time, folks. But another thing that I've been thinking about lately is because, as you said...
It's coming out.
No, not this week. All of the friends, North Carolina Indians, whatever you want to call us.
Dude, I thought you said North Carolina Indians. Like, I'm pretty sure that's not what they call them.
No, I didn't say that.
What do they... Is that actually what they call them? North Carolinians?
Probably that. That sounds better.
That is ugly.
Yeah. Killing. Yeah, maybe.
A lot of them are kind of ugly, though.
Yeah. What's Cleveland?
You mean in Ohio?
Ohio.
It's
Yeah.
the state, not the city.
Colorado Indian.
It's like Coloradan, which is also ugly.
Yeah. Michiganian.
Is that one just a Michigan?
I don't know.
I don't know what that one
I don't know. Anyways, so our friends got together for a nice, fun, wholesome, game-filled weekend.
Wholesome?
We're going to go with that.
Oh, that's why S-File's coming out? Because me and Justin's fits?
No. I saw your Instagram post and wasn't sure. So I just wanted to see if you had something to say.
We're at brunch. It was that day. I was like, I'm about to put this as my caption. Where I do it. I was like, all right.
So you guys all got together, and I did not partake in the festivities. One, because I have my own festivities coming up this weekend. So back-to-back weekends of a beer Olympic style events did not sound fun to me. But two, and the main reason is we also had a friend that was visiting for the first time, and we wanted to show him the city. And they're more on the chill end. I don't think they're more a beer Olympic type person, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
I don't blame them at all.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah. And I thought it was wild, speaking of wild, because of the comments that I've been getting over the last couple days. And
I should have asked you this off air, because now I want to know who these comments came from. But obviously you're not going to say it right now.
No.
But I should have prefaced and asked.
Because like it really isn't a big deal, but it's just wild.
Oh, no,
to me.
I just would like to know. That's
Yeah. It's wild to me because I got questioned on, hey, everything good in North Carolina? Yeah, everything's going great. Enjoying it. Weather's turned, this and that. No.
Weather's really turned. It's fucking hot.
Yeah, it's hot as shit. No, I mean like everything with you guys. I was like, with who? Group of friends. I was like, yeah, why would things not be all right?
I mean, you met up with us that night, too.
Yeah. And they were like, well, I don't know. I just didn't see you at Beer Olympics. And so I didn't know if like something happened. Like, how come you weren't there? And I was like, oh. And I was like, no, we had a friend in, this and that, the weekend coming up. And they were like, oh, okay, that makes sense. They were like, I just thought it was weird that you weren't there. Like, I would have expected you to like partake in the event. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, because of those things. And then I started to think about it over the last like 16 hours.
Is they eating at you?
No. But it baffles me.
Yeah.
It baffles me because never, ever, ever do I get questioned for, why aren't you putting in the effort for DTI? Why aren't you doing this for DTI? Why aren't you in the gym today? Why didn't you go for your run today? Why didn't you go to sauna today? Why didn't you go to cold plunge? And you notice that all of those things are things that are going towards my goals, my mental health, my physical health, or my personal goals with this business, etc. And so it's kind of like the analogy that I use that when somebody passes away, the holidays and birthdays and things of that nature are easier because that's when everybody's thinking about you. And so nobody thinks about reaching out on that random Tuesday or Thursday to say, hey, Fred, how are you doing? Just checking in to make sure you're doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good. No, how are you really doing? Been thinking about you, your dad, this and that. Oh, yeah, stuff's been on my mind, whatever, in a dark place, but I'm making it through. Or nope, got out of a dark place, everything's good, but the last month was rough, or whatever it is. And nobody ever reaches out on those days, but the holidays they do. And it's the same thing with this, is that when you're not at social gatherings, when you're not at birthday parties, when you're not on vacations, when you're not at Beer Olympics, when you're not out on weekends, everybody questions because people are posting pictures, they're this, they're that. But nobody is questioning. And that goes for like me and you. We obviously motivate each other because we're in the same realm. We're working towards the same things. We have same goals and stuff. But like the outside forces or factors that we surround our lives with don't really question like those things that mean something to us. And I'm not saying us as in me and you, but anybody, our friends, our family, people we don't know. Nobody questions people on those things that align with their goals, ambitions, and traits, and making sure that they're doing those day in and day out. Or, for instance, I want to start reading more. Nobody's checking in to be like, hey, did you read your pages today? Did you do this today? Because, again, they're not put out there for the public to see, so they're not top of mind for people. But it almost seems ass backwards to me, and I'm curious your thought. Like, why do we prioritize and emphasize these social gatherings where picking up a beer, I can tell you firsthand that the next day I never wake up after a long night and I'm like, God, I'm glad I did that. My bank account is glad I did that. My body feels great. I'm glad I did that. And I always regret the way I feel. And so I'm like, why do I do this? Why do people always question, come do this, come do that? But nobody ever questions the good stuff. And is it just because it's not publicized? Or is it because of society?
I think
or
it's
something
a
else?
combination of a lot of things. But this is why I kind of wanted to know who it was. Which is just a selfish thing. Like, I just would like to know for myself so I can know, like, their motives. But I think that for a majority
Good
of
intent, not bad
No,
motive.
not like that.
Okay.
I mean, like, their motives in life. Like, what are their goals? What is this and that? I think that a majority of the people don't have goals. Like, which is crazy to say because we're surrounded by so many people who are doing things in different realms. But, like, most people's goal is just to like live, like just to make it to the weekend. It's get through Monday through Friday so I can go do this. It's not, oh, what's next on the horizon? Like, where am I going to push myself? Where am I going to get better? Like, majority of the people don't think that way, which I think is societal, which is pushed by every big corporation out there. Like, even corporations, like, around, I don't even want to say health and fitness, because, like, there's really not even, like, big corporations around it right now. Like, sure, like, you have athletic apparel and things like that, but, like, they're not pushing a healthy lifestyle necessarily. They're just pushing wear clothes.
Because you even look at, like, the Spartan race. What do they do after the race?
You get a beer.
You get a beer and junk
That's
food.
everywhere. That's going to be at the marathon, too.
It's just wild. Why is that always the
Every
reward?
race has a beer at the end.
Shitty food, shitty drinks. Shitty in the sense
The marathon will
they
probably
taste-
have both. So, like, they'll have, like, tables set up of, like, like bananas and shit. Well, I guess they did there, too. And they had, like, those other drinks, like, to help, too.
Yeah.
But it is, like, you do this hard thing, here's a beer.
Here's a beer. Here's greasy food to buy.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild because I was having this conversation, and the people that brought it up, like I said, there was no like ill intent or anything like that. Great people, and had the right mindset and things.
Hello.
Told them I was fucking busy. They had the right.
That's staying in.
They had the right mindset and things. But again, it was just me questioning, why is this the perception of the world? Because even...
I really do think that it just comes down to people wanting to get by.
Yeah.
Like, people just want to survive.
Yep.
Like, they don't need anything special. Or they don't want anything special. They don't want to leave an impact. They don't want this and that. Think about, like, even majority of people. Like, their only goal is have a family, retire. Boom. That's it. Raise kids, retire. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. But you can't, like, put that off on other people either.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah, now that I evaluate it, I mean, it stems from everything. Your family, your friends, the events that you do, even, like, working in corporate America. What is always the reward? A happy hour. It's never a fitness class. It's never... here's a mentor program. Like, okay, they have those, but they don't prioritize them.
No, and they're there specifically because they have to be in place to look like they're doing something. It's the same way corporate America does everything now. It's all for looks. Yep. It's not an actual care. My client actually just tweeted about this yesterday. Something about, like, why is it always, like, after big corporate events, it's always pushed to let's go drink and celebrate. And he's in sales as well. And basically said, like, not everybody drinks or wants to drink, but now, like, there's this pressure coming from your employers, when he's like, shouldn't the opposite be more of a factor? Like, you want these people at the top of their game selling for your company and doing this and that, but instead 4 o'clock rolls around and it's let's go get fucked up and then come back into work tomorrow.
Yep.
Which is definitely not productive for a corporation.
Yep. That, and even when people visit, first thing we're like, oh, let's take you and show you the town. We'll go to this dinner. We'll go to this bar. Like, we're victims of it too. I'm not saying that we're not.
Oh, I'm 100% that guy.
Yeah. It's just, I guess it's wild because I'm having this, and it's not something that I've really opened up about except to my sister the other day. But, like, I truthfully am really starting to not enjoy drinking because of the things that I've already kind of mentioned. I never am happy that I spend the money on this stuff. It doesn't align or push me forward in life with my fitness goals, with my mental goals, with my goals of being an entrepreneur. I feel like shit for like a day and a half after now.
So how do you do it?
I feel like it aligns with that comment that you just made of that, like, social pressure to do it. Because although we surround ourselves and we have great friends and family and people in place that we hang out with, we all bust our ass every single day throughout the week, even on weekends, training, working, doing our side hustles, whatever it is. And so at the weekend comes and it's like, oh God, we're free. And so I feel like it's almost conditioned or programmed into us to do that.
It's definitely a conditioned thing.
And I'm not saying that any one of us is better than the other in this, because we're all influences and we all drive this sort of behavior or this sort of like antic of doing that stuff. And I think that that's what I'm trying to find the answer to right now is like, what does that balance look like? Because in the back of my head, okay, I could say no and I could not do that stuff, but then here comes the judgment from everybody else. Oh, why aren't you hanging out with us? Are you mad? Are you this? Why aren't you doing this? And
you
then
can hang out without partaking. It's a lot harder. I'll give you that.
Okay, so I do that and then still go out and don't do any of the things. Yeah, it's a crossroad I'm at right now. I don't have the answers, and I'm just spewing things out to try and come up with an answer that I don't have, that I'm currently digesting and thinking about. Because again, all of those things that I don't like that are associated with it, but there's also such great things. Like I enjoy having a beer. I enjoy sitting on a patio. I enjoy talking to you guys while we're out. I enjoy making the memories, all of that stuff. And I'm trying to find where that road is of saying yes enough, but not saying yes too much. So that way I stay focused and driven. And I think it's very tangible and easy to see the traction and drive taking place of said goals that I have in life. But again, where does that balance come of yes and no that fits in my lifestyle? And two, getting over that, what people are going to say, or what we talk about all the time, that's whether it's social media posts, whether it's going on a trip and saying no and everybody's going, or whatever it is, it's getting over that of, no, I'm not going to do this today, and then taking the shit that I'm going to get. And again, it goes back to the first conversation we had where guys give each other shit because they love each other. We give each other shit as a friend group because we love each other. That's how we communicate. It keeps it fun. We laugh. And it's not with any ill will or intent behind it. But again, I do, get in my own head of, okay, where do I say no and where do I say yes? And then how do I move forward? So what does that look like for me? I don't know. That's what I'm figuring out right now. I'm just speaking out loud and voicing my opinions on something that I don't know if I love doing as much as I once did, which I don't think is a bad thing at all.
No.
And I think it's just changing and aligning to maybe a new trajectory to check the boxes. So checking all those things off to post for DTI, or getting 10 new clients in a month, or whatever that is, checking those boxes and then enjoying it. I don't know what the balance looks like, but it's just something that I've kind of been thinking a lot about, because there's so many things that I hate about it, the way I feel, the money I spend, the this or that, and how do I balance that with the good that it comes with creating those moments and memories with the people that I love, and how we find that balance, or how I find that balance to select, I guess, what to partake in and what not to.
I will say, though, I don't think you're alone in this at all. I think that this is something probably more people our age struggle with and just don't talk about because of the same reason. Like, they don't want to get shit from people. Because, I mean, I've been pretty open about it before. Like, I've considered quitting altogether. Because I know myself, and it's just, sometimes I get wrapped up in it. And it gets out of control. But at the same time, it's like you're saying, like, I do enjoy it. I do like to be around it. Like, it has a time and place, though.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we've talked about this already. The last 6 weeks has just been a fucking wild time for me, where it's just been off the rails. It was like event after event after event. And yeah, I could have said no to some, but like, it was a lot going on. So I'm now at a place where we talked about it right before we got on. Like, after I get home this week, probably going to go like 3 weeks until your birthday weekend, where I'm just chilling. Like, I need to lock it back in. Marathon training is already kicking my ass. We're about 2 weeks in, and my feet hurt right now. So, like, I'm just ready to chill. My stuff's about to be here. Like, get into my routine again.
Yep.
Because I've been out of it, I feel like, for so long that I'm, like, craving that. Just consistency again, really.
Yeah. And that's, like, for my my birthday. Like, everyone's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, truthfully, I want to golf, and I want to watch the UFC fights because Sean O'Malley fights.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do. Have it low key, but like enjoy it, have fun. But get out there, soak in some of God's medicine for a day or two out on the golf course. Maybe even like rent a boat if Brandon and Brooks come in town. They won't listen to this, so I know they won't fucking hear it.
They're talking about coming?
I'm trying to convince them to come, yeah. And so that way they can golf with us, and if they come, thinking about getting a boat, so that way we can go out there and just fucking relax, have fun, listen to music, and vibe out. But Yeah, I don't know. It's just been something on my mind, so I wanted to talk about it because I've been kind of holding it in for like a month. And it just, every single time I'm like, dude, I even look at it like now that I just bought this car. Instead of replenishing the funds,
Right.
I'm out at the bar getting food, getting drinks, and it's just like that doesn't go towards my initiatives or goals either in terms of like now doubling down on the things that I need to financially. Because again, I don't think that there's enough, and I'm not saying this in any other way, but there's not enough pressure that I have to dial it back more because like financially I'm blessed to be able to be fine to do these different things because of the sacrifices I've made for the last 10 years since I graduated high school. And so
I've got some pressure that I should probably dial it in.
and that's, I don't know. I want to keep this conversation going because I'm also, now that I've been thinking about it and I brought it up to my sister and now I'm bringing it up on here, just that short duration of starting to talk about it, some signs have been popping up on like social media and there's actually been like tailored content towards that without me even like researching it at all.
Or like just balance in general.
Balance in general.
I think I had a point. I'm trying to think of like the point where I had a really good balance. And it wasn't even that long ago. It was like within the last year. But like I felt really good. I was like, oh, I could go have a night out without getting fucked up. Like I can just go have a few beers.
That's what I'm good at lately is I don't need to get fucked up to.
I think I've just been going. Then it's like now it's just easy because like you build up a tolerance, and then before you know it, it just fucking creeps up on you.
Yep.
But I think like within the last year, I was in a good place where like I could go out, have a few, wake up the next morning normal time, not feel like shit, go to the gym, and I would have the occasional one, and that one was like a wake up call. Where it's like now, I've been fucked up, and I don't wake up feeling like shit. Like I wake up feeling okay. And it's like, that's not okay either. Like, that's not okay. So it's like, obviously this week I'm going home. But even that, like, I don't think he's going to get that out of control.
Yeah.
And it's like, when I come back, dial it in for 3 weeks. Even, like, your birthday, I don't think that group's going to be that out of control.
Yeah.
And then it's like, after that, I'm chilling for another month until I go home to see my brother. And that's definitely not getting out of control because it's just me and him.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to find that again. And it's the same shit that we talked about, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago. With like 75 hard, like 2.5 months is all it took to like completely change everything.
Yep.
It's just how committed are you willing to be for that long?
Yeah. Or again, finding that balance. We preach all the time that it's the little habits that compound on each other to build up to the big picture. And that's what this is as well.
Yeah, I do think that there's times where extreme discipline is required though.
Yeah, depending on the goals set forth.
Depending on goals or like where you're at.
Yep.
I don't think that everyone can just start. I mean, everyone can start with little habits, but like there's certain things that need to be cut out altogether if it's a problem for you.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, by no means am I saying that I have a problem.
Right.
But I just want to figure out a way that I can continue to create and make those memories and stuff with the people that I surround myself with, but also doubling down on what's like really important to me right now, and that's building and growing the things that I'm working towards, both with myself and then within myself, that I'm trying to put out to this world. So that's kind of been the balance, because I keep hearing as well, like different celebrities, they're like, yeah, I don't drink anymore, I don't this, and I almost think I'm very much of, if the masses are saying do it, don't do it.
I think there's a shift though going towards like, I think the generation below us doesn't care about alcohol. That's what this video was telling me about, bro. Yeah, I don't think that they care as much.
Yep, that's what this video was talking about, and they brought that up, and then they brought up the celebrities, and I started thinking about it. I was like, you're right. And to it, it's almost one of those things like, what you give is what you get, or whatever the saying is.
Pretty much what you put out is what you get back.
Yeah. And two, like, how long is talking about it enough before like something needs to change? And I feel like I'm at that point of change with like the passion and desires that I have, that I want to see that set forth in a bunch of different avenues in life, and even like getting involved, like we talk about with this community, and possibly even finding like a little league to get involved in to like help spread some sort of like positivity or be like a coach. Like I used to coach my cousin back in the day in basketball and stuff like that. And it was like truly a blessing to do that because
I'm so bad at basketball. We can never coach basketball.
maybe like, I don't know, some sport or something. That, or even like instead of going out on a weekend, going and taking a jiu-jitsu class. I've been wanting to do that for like a year.
Dude, I keep talking myself out of it because I don't want to get hurt.
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, and then on the off chance I pull something, I can't run, I'm going to be pissed. That's where my stuff lies, is like, what do I care more about? Because JR tries to get me to do it every time I'm home because they do MMA there now. And I'm like, I can't bring myself to do it because if I get hurt, I'm just going to be mad.
Yeah. I'm going to take a class here soon. Yeah, I don't know. That's just been something on my mind.
This is probably the deepest podcast we've had, like, solely about us.
Yeah.
I think we don't always talk about us. We just kind of talk in generalizations or, like, about other specific people around. But, no, like, to the celebrity thing you were saying, I'm really big on, like, giving myself, like, convincing myself that I'm not them. And I'm like, well, yeah, but, like, they had years of partying at, like, the top of their game. And, like, I didn't have that.
Yeah.
And so I talk, like, you know, like, I can't think of the term for it. But like, I make excuses, like, then we're not the same. Like, that doesn't apply to me.
Yep.
Like, I never had to deal with the temptation that they deal with, this and that. Like, I rationalize it.
Yeah.
And I do that, like, even with just everyday people. I rationalize with myself. But it's just a cop-out.
Yeah.
And I'm fully aware that it's a cop-out. And so it comes down to the same, or not the same shit, but it comes down to, like, you can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, like, you've been sitting on this for a while.
Yep.
I've had these feelings before. They're kind of coming back up. I'm not, and especially, like, during this conversation, they obviously come back up. Because it's like, yeah. Like, it's there, and you deal with it for a while, and you bury it away, and then you fucking do it again. And then
Yeah. Because
it's a tug of war.
It is, and that's what I don't want to happen. And I feel like that's the reason I'm talking about it, because typically, if anybody puts something out in the universe, they're more likely to follow through with it. Not only because they gave that commitment or that voice to themselves, but there's other people that will check in on them occasionally, and that will get brought up as a topic of conversation during that. And so, like, for me, it's even like, dude, we live in probably, I would say, top 3 to 5 fastest growing cities right now in America. And truthfully, I think it's like top 3, which, what does that mean? That means that endless amounts of people are coming here daily. That means endless of businesses are popping up daily. That means that endless of construction, endless. We see it while we're out exploring,
Rent's
running.
just going up and up.
Rent's going up. But how do we capitalize on that? There's people holding events that are speakers. There's people holding events that are free workout classes. There's people holding events because they're pushing their narrative as well, and they're bringing the community together. So instead of going out on a Saturday and sitting at a patio, why not finding some sort of event where you can network with people? But again, I think it's just a stipulation that it's like, oh, it'll be awkward. Oh, you got to talk to people. But like, bro, that's
Even
who
so,
we
like,
are.
Those events are like 3 to 4 hours. Like, if you really wanted to sit on a patio still, you could do fucking both.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, we don't. It's like, which that's the whole balance thing though. Like,
Yep.
I'm very much so like one or the other. Like, not one or the other, but like, I'm very like, when I'm in something, I'm in it.
Yep.
And so I go from one extreme to the other. So it's like, oh, if I'm going out tonight, I'm just going out. I literally got my run out of the way, so I didn't have to do it Saturday.
Yeah.
So I could just focus on reading.
Yeah.
But I also just didn't want to do it before the beer because I was like, I'm not going to want to do that, whatever. But like, you could do both. You could go to an event and then go have a couple, and that's probably going to help you limit what you do have.
Yep.
So like, if it is what you still want to do afterwards, and you're not tied to it. If you decide I don't want to go, you don't got to fucking go.
Yep. I'm going to find an event, since I won't be here pretty much the rest of July. Actually, I won't be here the rest of the July.
Well, then,
on weekends.
So that thing that Tone sent us, that event that was like last week or whatever, they do one every Monday. I followed them, and they have one every Monday. They do a run club every Monday, which is 2, 3, or 4 miles, but they have some kind of like huge event also.
Okay.
So like this week they were at some other location, like with other vendors. So like, there's always somebody, which is also a way to just kind of get into a community though too.
Yep.
Is like talk about our shit and eventually partner up that way.
Yep. So in August, I'm going to make the commitment to find 2 events to go to. Maybe one of them is that run club and I bust out one of my runs for the week and do it with them, or they're both business related and I go and listen to a speaker or go to some sort of networking event. But I feel like this could be getting brought up as well, even though I'm blessed and I do not fucking want to go into the office. But like there is some sort of like camaraderie that happens when you go in there, and like the people you meet, like there was a big wig at my last company that I had met him outside of the company. We started talking on more of a personal level. There wasn't business tied to it, and he's a great contact to have now. And so like finding that as well, because again, as we preach, as we've said, if there's 4 fat people that you hang around, you're going to be the 5th. If there is 4 broke people that you hang around, you will be the 5th. If there's 5 fit people that you hang around, you will be the 6th. It's the same thing. If there are 4 millionaires that you're hanging around, you will be the 5th, because you are a product of your environment and you are a product of the things and people and assets that you surround yourself with. And so getting in front of those people, being genuine, and actually being around those folks that are aligning with what's important to you in life is only going to enhance that, so that way you continue to improve and you continue to get better, to then fill their shoes as they're filling somebody else's shoes and getting somebody else's. Because as much as we all like to think that we can do this on our own and this world is going to be conquered by me and only me, dude, every famous person, not famous, every success, I don't want to be famous, goddamn. Every successful person, I'll be your best friend. I always wanted to be a best friend of someone famous, so that way I didn't have to deal with it. But every successful person, famous or not, has met somebody that's helped them get to the next level in any facet, any asset, any degree, anything in life. They have met somebody that's introduced them to said person, that's introduced them to said thing, that's introduced them to some business deal. And so being around those type of people is only going to enhance your chances to meet somebody next that could impact your life drastically and you don't even know it. And so I think that's the important factor to take away, is not only doing this just to be like, oh yeah, I went to 3 community events in Charlotte, but doing it that aligns with your why that we always talk about, what's important to you, and then using that to elevate and keep growing in life.
It's also building a habit. Like if you start going to them, you're going to continue to go. And you're going to meet people who then invite you to other ones, and it's going to become a lot easier to go to those events.
Because one thing that I told you that I want to do is public speaking. And so that's another way. Like those people could hold their own seminars, and next thing you know, they listen to a couple of things, or they hear me talk and they're like, we want you to come and speak at ours. There's only 50 people that are going to be in the crowd.
I'm terrified of being asked to. Because like I could talk like this.
Yeah.
But like being in front of people is terrifying to me. Which I think eventually I'll have to do, just like break out. But I think I'd actually like have to like get a coach who will like work with me and slow me the fuck down.
Yeah.
I will get up there and go. Go.
I've actually started writing kind of like what a speech would be revolved around.
I have my entire, like if I was to get approached, an entire outline.
Yeah.
It's just not fully fleshed out, but I have a whole outline.
I thought I had mine from last year, and I was going to take a nap at some point over the last week, and I laid down, and I honestly...
Those are the best moments, bro.
Dude, I honestly felt like I took like an Adderall or something.
Yeah, you jump up and start going.
That's
my favorite moment, bro.
And dude,
but like...
I couldn't type fast enough.
You have to find out like what got you in that mood, because people talk about like creativity strikes, but like I also think like you can create a space to be creative. So if you can figure out like what was that, and like if it happens again, be like, okay, what are the commonalities like that put me in that mindset?
Yep.
Which is what I'm about to try to do with like these Sundays, where like I needed, which is really why I want to like rein it in. And I was already just in my head like while we were having this conversation, like, oh, actually like chilling until your birthday's about to be easy, because you guys are gone damn near every weekend. Mm-hmm. Like you guys are about to be gone. Yeah. It's just gonna be like me.
Yeah, literally.
It's pretty much everyone's going to Matt's wedding.
Yep.
Then you guys are home for a concert the next week.
Yep.
And then my dad comes.
Yep.
And that's 3 full weeks.
Yep.
And I'm just chilling.
I noticed too, speaking of like what got you in that creative space, I've noticed that I alluded to it a few weeks ago, but dude, any and every single idea and thought that I've had, I've been jotting down in my notes and like writing posts or newsletters that I haven't posted yet. And like through that, I've noticed that more and more ideas are coming. Bro, I'll be in the gym and people probably think like, God, he's on his phone texting.
I did the same shit.
I'm just writing.
Yeah,
and it's straight fire too. And so like it gets me excited because everything I'm jotting down. The other night I was going to bed and it was way past my bedtime just because I was like up. I couldn't go to bed. because I was really into suits. And so when I laid down, I was like, all right, I need to go to bed. And I had this thought come in. I was like, oh, I'll write it down in the morning. I was like, nope.
You'd have lost it.
Literally turned over. Boop, 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 boop. All right, cool.
Lost it.
And so I've noticed that for me, staying in that creative space, staying in that thing is going back to the roots of, even if I don't think it's 100%, put it fucking down, post it, whatever it is that I need to do to get that down.
Yeah. Have the idea.
And then just keep rocking and rolling. And that's really helped me over the last like month and a half with creative ideas and thoughts and things revolving around all of that.
That's what I've loved about like having over an hour between getting home from the gym and work. Because I'll just sit down and write shit. It don't even all make sense. Some of it's just like introspective thoughts.
Yep.
But I'm like, I'm at least like putting something out there, which I wasn't doing for a while.
Yep.
Or like I'll edit this. Like I edited the whole last one before work. Like this probably just get edited in the morning.
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy because I used to have to like take time. And dude, these ones bounce so much faster.
Good.
Because I use a different program because I have video. Like straight, I don't have to like make a background and shit, so I can use the easier one. It was done in 20 minutes. Usually takes 4 hours.
Jesus. Yeah,
It's
that's
insane.
really good. That's dope. I love that.
These things are getting longer, you notice?
Yeah, they are. They're flowing more natural.
I know.
So
Because we're together, it's just like it's easier to just talk.
Yeah. I kind of need to like for in terms of running, so we're doing these marathons and stuff like that. But I've been noticing I've been outside and I'm wearing these like stupid fucking glasses. I got to get running ones. And so I didn't know if you had like any suggestions on sunglasses.
Dude. So, wouldn't run in these ones. These are my active ones. They're just like active.
Damn!
So, guys, this is our like
fucking fly.
Legit first. Like this one's a sponsor, but like this is like legit DTI sponsor. I feel like my legs weren't up like this last time, but I was doing it. I don't really care though. But so this is Optic Nerve. This is a brand. They have like running ones. They have active. They just have like casual ones such as these. They have like snowboarding goggles, shit like that. But there's a link below. It's in my bio. We need to put in the DTI bio now that I think about it.
Yep.
But it's literally below wherever you're listening, watching this, whatever. And use code DTI. You get 20% off.
Let's go.
So we're official.
They're good quality. Great sunglasses. I was talking to Dylan about that today, about getting running ones through them. So when I get those, when I purchase those, I will definitely show them off on here.
I'm probably going to be getting a pair soon too.
Our first official DTI sponsor. Use the code, get some sunglasses. I promise you won't regret it. And they have all price ranges. Lower end to higher end. So depending what you want to spend, use the DTI 20 to get your discount.
Yeah, so if you do that, maybe you'll see a Spartan vlog.
Please buy them. But no, I'm excited. And I love that we kind of talk more about like real life shit because again, we're not the only ones that think this. Our friends think it. You've thought stuff around it. Like everybody has these thoughts about these different topics because again, we talk about the things that are actually happening in the world and what people are experiencing day in and day out. And so bringing those to light and not saying that we have the answers, but just talking through them to get a different perspective, a different life on these topics. And kind of just like realigning or staying on the tracks because we've definitely gotten to the point where like it's derailed us from our tracks and we had to like bring it back. And so talking about it and just discussing, having normal bullshit conversations just to see like what can come out of it. Because again, it's where can you find that desire or inspiration to keep moving forward with said goals that you have. And I think that the first thing, whether you're trying to get over something, whether you're trying to make something come a reality, whether you're trying to work on something, any of that, the first step is talking about it, putting it out into that universe, letting the manifestation happen, letting whatever is supposed to happen out there happen because you're putting it forward instead of keeping it bottled in and only internally thinking about it. Stuff will actually come and develop from it. So always have the desire to inspire. Kiss your mom on her forehead for us. And I'm excited to keep having our sponsor upgrade our set. As you guys can see, we got a little bit of a display in the background. We have more coming in. We possibly might be sitting on something different, but there's a lot to come because our sponsors are extremely happy that we're now in the same area. They love the podcast as what it is right now. So stay tuned and maybe one day we'll have your mama on. Until then, peace out.
I was like, whoa, he said peace. Peace.